Okay, let's take a look at prep test 78, section 3, question number 20. The issue presented, the argument's conclusion can be properly inferred if which one of the following assumes, so sufficient assumption is what we're looking for. You have a slash mark after the word then, slash mark after the word made. I'm ready. The company president says that significant procedural changes were made before either she or Young was told about them. All right. But according to Grimes, the contract requires, so when I pay attention to the word requires, necessary conditions may not be sufficient, but necessary conditions is what the contract requires that either the company president or any lawyer in the company's legal department be told about the proposed procedural changes before they're made. Okay, so either the president or a lawyer's got to be told. It's a necessary condition. Thus, unless what Grimes or the company president says is incorrect, then the contract is violated. So the conclusion is, we know what Grimes, we know what they both said, right? The company president said I wasn't told. I wasn't consulted about these procedural changes. And Grimes is then also adding that no lawyer in the legal department was consulted, and therefore the condition that got to be affirmed is that no lawyer in the legal department was told. And once we have that, you're done, because this is a necessary condition. It's required, right? And you fail to meet it, it's over. So once you fail to meet it, then the contract is violated. So choice A says Young is a lawyer in the company's legal department. Young doesn't have to be a lawyer. That's not a necessary condition. You could have somebody else be a lawyer. Neither Grimes nor Young was told about the procedural changes until after they were made. Again, so long as any other lawyer was, wouldn't be a problem. C, no lawyer in the company's legal department was told that the procedural changes until after they were made. And that's it, because once you establish that, you establish that a necessary condition was not met, and therefore the contract was violated. So we're done. Look at D. If the company's president was told about the procedural changes before they were made, then the contract was not violated. But this is not about the contracts not being violated. It's citing a violation predicated on necessary condition of either A or B taking place. You know, either the president being told or a lawyer being told. And that's a necessary condition, and therefore the contract, we don't, you know, it's not, the issue here is not the contract not being violated. The issue here is we have proven the violation by the failure to meet a necessary condition. And E, if no lawyer in the company's legal department was told about the procedural change before they were made, then the contract was violated. Well, the problem with that here is to say simply meeting the necessary condition does not imply that you have met all conditions. So again, this is, E is a wonderful wrong answer, but E, it doesn't follow that merely because you meet a necessary condition that was sufficient. It may be more. So the answer to number 20 is C for Caligula. Question number 21, the issue presented, which one of the following is true most strengthens the journalist's reasoning. Okay, let's get the reasoning. I have a slash mark after the word mineral, and I'm done. Here's the reasoning. People whose diets contain a relatively large amount of iron are significantly more likely to develop Parkinson's disease than are those whose diet contain less of this mineral. So just stop for a second. A correlation, and what's I think important here is the word develop. So if you're going to develop Parkinson's, then there appears to be a correlation between the amount of iron you take in and the incidence of that, the affliction of the disease. That's acquired. That means it wasn't genetic. Okay. Next sentence. Limiting one's intakes of meat, seafoods, and other foods rich in iron should thus reduce one's chances of contracting this disease. And so we're strengthening the conclusion, yeah, I mean, lower your iron. Stop eating foods that contain iron. Lower the amount of iron, and you're likely to lower the incidence of developing Parkinson's disease. That's the position that we want to straighten. Again, I stress when you're reading that, when you say develop, it implies you didn't already have it, that it wasn't genetic. So if in the genetic, well, you'll see. So let's see what A says. A says, and most people who have a genetic predisposition to Parkinson's have no more iron in their diets than people without the predisposition. Well, yeah, that strengthens this argument, because they're saying that the iron is not playing any role in, if you have Parkinson's through genetics, your iron level is the same as the iron level of people who don't have it genetically, who it's just a regular old level. So that's suggesting that it's compelling, right? If it's a low iron level and you have it genetically, well, then that means if the reduction of iron is also reducing the incidence of the disease, that's non-genetic, and that can work. So A, without question, A strengthens the argument. You'd have to keep reading. B says, many of the vegetables regularly consumed by vegetarians who do not contract Parkinson's disease are as rich in iron as meat and seafood. Well, that would, if anything, that would tend to weaken the argument, because saying, well, they increase their iron, a different source, but they increase their iron, but they don't have the same rise in Parkinson's rate. C, children and adolescents require a much larger amount of iron in their diets than do mature adults. Well, then that would kind of weaken the proposal that we should limit the amount you take in of iron. G, the iron in some foods is much less easily absorbed by the body than the iron contained in other foods. So that got nothing to do with this saying cut down your iron. And choice E, the amount of iron-rich foods consumed by people starts to decline beginning at age 50. Again, so who cares? So the answer to number 21 is A for Augustus. 22, if the statements of the modern party chairperson are true, each of the following could be true except. So we're looking for a statement that must be false. It must be false. 1/ mark after the word party. Maples, the modern party candidate, would be a better mayor than his opponent, Tannett, who is a member of the traditional party. Okay, got it? Every member of the modern party is better qualified to be mayor than is any member of the traditional party. So, yeah, so the lowest ranking modern party candidate is preferable to the highest ranking traditional party candidate. Okay, based on that, which is fine, must be false. A says, Maples has the least seniority of any member of Riverdale's modern party and was recently ousted from the traditional party. Okay, I'm not quite sure why that is a statement. That is not a statement that has to be false. B, Tannett would be a better mayor than would any other member of the traditionalist party. Why would that have to be false? C, few residents of Riverdale believe that Maples would be a better mayor than Tannett. I know nothing about the residents' beliefs, so that could be true. D, of all the members of the modern party, Maples would be the worst mayor. Well, why couldn't that be true? And E, Tannett is better qualified to be mayor than is Riverdale's modern party chairperson, and that statement must be false, because Tannett is in the traditionalist party, and every member of the highest ranking member of the traditionalist party is less desirable than the lowest ranking member of the modern party. So the answer to 22 is E for Euphrates, and that is questions number 20 through 22.